What decides whether the time and energy we put into building any habit is going to be worth it or not is choosing the right habit and the best approach suited to you, the one that fits you perfectly. And choosing the right habit means choosing one that adds a definite value to your life, and also that you believe in the importance of that value to you. So before building your habit, make sure that you know clearly what it's going to do for you, or better still, how your life is going to look if you don't build this habit. It helps us know our conviction level for that habit. How much are we truly involved in that choice? Like, if you want to start, say, exercising daily, a reason like I want to have more energy to do the things I want to do, or be healthier to go after my goals with less interruptions. It works better than wanting to build your habit simply because we know it's a good thing to do, because that shows that it's going to be a very short-lived project. Because when you buy into the why of anything, believe something is going to change your life for the better, make it easier, we have got ourselves an inbuilt source of motivation that's going to take us through all those days when sticking to the plan, when showing up feels absolutely rotten. The best approach simply means choosing a style that works for you. Warren Buffett believes that we are all wired in a certain way. What that means is when we do things aligned with how we are wired, we are guaranteed better results. Let's, for example, take the most trending success habit, that of reading daily. See, we all have different learning preferences, but broadly speaking, there are 4 different learning styles: visually, auditory, reading, writing, and kinesthetic. Now, you might prefer a different combination of these styles, while I would learn better with a different combination. Like, I learn things better when I read about them, but I retain the information better when the information has been explained visually, presented visually, through a video or pictures and diagrams. So, I would be better able to stick to the habit of reading 1 book per week rather than finishing 1 audiobook per week, because that learning style doesn't suit me. Now, because building your habit, building any habit, demands consistency to get over the problem of not feeling motivated, because that hurts consistency. Use the habit stacking plus temptation building formula from the book Atomic Habits, written by James Clear. It works perfectly for me because it gets you doing the things that you need to do by leveraging the things that you want to do. Like, say I want to check my Instagram feed, but I also need to drink more water. So according to the formula, it will go something like, after I reach for my phone, I will drink a glass of water. After I drink a glass of water, I will check my IG feed for 5 minutes. That sounds really doable, and it also means that if I can't drink more water, then I won't be able to spend more time on my phone. So it's a win either way. Either I get a healthier lifestyle or I cut down on my screen time. Kind of neat, right? About 40% of what we do every day are habits, like brushing teeth or drinking that same type of coffee every morning. And so whether we realize it or not, they set the tone of our life. They reflect our approach to life. And building your habit or changing our habits is about making smarter choices so that we can reach our goals more effectively, create more easily the kind of life or lifestyle that we want. And there are many practical strategies like the situation support technique and many more, which I have collected in a different video, which I will link at the end of this one. Doing certain things can make us feel excited instantly, and other things can make us take a step back or find ways to get out of it. That's because we automatically think of them as being good or as being bad, and good thinking habits are about keeping those automatic thoughts, the ones that help us, and change those that aren't doing anything for us, that aren't helping us in a good way. It's like spring cleaning in a sense. Getting into the habit of working on things according to their priority for us is one of the key ways to manage time effectively. Stephen Covey also puts prioritizing as the 3rd habit in his famous book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, the idea is to lean into a more decluttered and organized approach in whatever we do. Being efficient and productive, achieving our goals can be as simple as getting done whatever's on our daily to-do list, given that that list is based on the solid foundation of insight, effective planning, and the right approach. We tend to reflect unknowingly certain qualities of the people we mingle with. That's one of the survival techniques our brain has. We gain from the collective knowledge and get inspired by the tenacity of others. We feel we too can do it when the next person has done it but was was once in the same position that we are right now. But be careful, because the opposite also holds true. According to a study by the Department of Biological and Clinical Psychology at Frederick Schiller University, our brain reacts with a strong stress response when it has to deal with toxic behavior from people. One of the most common successful people's habits is respecting their boundaries, knowing clearly what they are and aren't ready to accept, and using that as a yardstick to make their commitments. And knowing clearly if and how much they are willing to stretch those boundaries. That's super important if we want to keep working on the things that we believe in and not stress out on the things that don't add value to our life. Our environment has a significant impact on our behavior and attitude, and the people we spend most of our time around make a big part of that environment. We unknowingly start leaning towards either the attitude of why does this always happen to me, or towards okay, so this happened, what can we do about this, depending on the company we keep, and the effect compounds over time. So another success habit is to stay connected with people who are either working towards the same thing, have similar values, cheer us on, and also offer constructive feedback. It's tough to maintain a healthy habit surrounded with all the wrong things. Steve Jobs once took a calligraphy course in college just because it was something he didn't know much about and was curious about it. But years later, it sprouted the idea of different stylized fonts on computers. The habit of asking, what's that? How does it work? Is a great way to create the library of information which our conscious or subconscious mind can draw from when coming up with creative ideas, because that's essentially connecting existing information in unusual ways. The idea is to make staying creative a natural part of our personality. The diverse the topics of things we know about, the bigger is our inventory of ideas to draw from. According to Dr. Carol Dweck's book Mindset, the habit of taking up challenges with a relish, staying open to learning whether from someone or from our mistakes and failures, is exactly the kind of mindset that makes us grow into the person that our goals and dreams demand. So once we separate the idea of failure from its unofficial role of a yardstick to measure our capacity, our intelligence or smartness, we start to see for what it really is. Plain and simple data which tells us what more it will take to be where we want to be. And once failures and setbacks start upskilling us instead of holding us back, the only place we can stop is the end line. We need to develop the habit of spending time alone with our thoughts, because these times of introspection help us figure out, how do I make the best of the cards dealt to me? How do I take responsibility of my own life? We get a chance to monitor our self-talk when all the external distractions are removed, and this gives us an opportunity to refocus on the positives of any situation, the learning and possible solutions, because those are the things that make us unstoppable. Take the example of J.K. Rowling. I feel her story is one of the most inspirational journeys because of how she channeled her hardships into one of the most successful fiction series of her time. That's how powerful a habit of looking on the positives on action. Okay, so what can be done next? Looks in real life. Now, feeling motivated means being ready to show up, whether things are going our way or not. And we don't really worry about motivation when we are enjoying something, when we are feeling excited about something. It's only when we start feeling bored or things start turning difficult that we worry about being motivated enough to reach the end. And that's where habits prove helpful, because habits make showing up easier than not showing up. It's when something doesn't require much thinking, it's almost automatic, that we call it a habit, right? When we focus on things based on their priority, whatever we can fit into our day makes us feel productive at the end of it, because we are no longer spinning, doing a bit of everything without actually getting anything done, without actually finishing anything. So get in the habit of procrastinating the right way. Just like it's important to manage daily stress so that we don't end up feeling overwhelmed, when we let our desire for something new or something enjoyable play out a bit, it helps us get recharged to start taking action. Just like physical pain or emotions are meant to trigger some kind of action, like removing ourselves from harm's way or doing something that would make us feel better, when we feel like procrastinating, don't feel motivated enough to take action, it's actually trying to tell us something. Maybe things are getting boring for us and so we are looking for a change or some excitement. Or maybe we are worried at some level that we won't get the results we are expecting, and so it's telling us to get our confidence up or get relevant help or to skill up. Since habits make up about 40% of what we do every day, turning something into a habit is the simplest way to stay consistent, keep showing up even when not feeling really motivated. And that's why the 10th one is the habit of staying mindful of our habits, changing bad habits and creating those new ones that add value to our life, that help us design the kind of life we appreciate. Making intentional choices with our time, how we spend our mental energy, attention, focus is very important because they decide which direction our life takes. And that's why building your habit aligned with what you want from life, with your values, is very important. Now, working hard is a very good quality, no doubts about that. But it's better to start working smart if we want to stay consistent, motivated to push through to the end. Working smart is the habit of finding what ties in with our priorities or what's important for us and what we can find shortcuts for without affecting the outcome much. Shortcuts that are time and energy savers. An effective way to get into the working smart habit is to use Stephen Covey's 4-quadrant matrix for time management. The next habit is the habit of making better decisions. The trick is to have a technique in place that helps us make the best decisions we can make. Like legendary investor and philanthropist Warren Buffett, who makes it a point to know everything about the company, its management, its future plans, the public sentiment about it, and much more before he decides to buy its shares. And he's called the Oracle of Omaha because he rarely ever misses the mark. One great technique to use this idea in our life is to adapt the 6 hats technique. Mary Edis, the CEO of JP Morgan, in an interview to CNBC said that calendar management was the single most important thing for her. Whether it's a clutter-free work area, living area, or an efficiently managed to-do list, the habit of staying organized goes a long way in managing our time efficiently because it minimizes distraction. In fact, it's a very good idea to set some time aside in your morning routine to plan and organize your tasks for the day. According to American Psychological Association, multitasking makes us less efficient because it fills our mind with too much activity. And the more complex these tasks are, the longer it takes for our brain to shift from one thing to another. So to declutter your mind, replace the habit of multitasking with the habit of focusing on and finishing one task before moving on to the next. Write down if something pops up in your mind. If it's that important, it can surely be done next without distracting us from the current task. According to a study done at the University of Rochester Medical Center, journaling can boost our overall well-being because it helps us organize our thoughts and understand our emotions better. So the habit of writing down tasks and ideas is one of the best ways to declutter our brain, organize your thoughts, and stop overthinking. Doing anything for our physical and mental fitness is something that should be a part of our daily habit if we want to keep showing up effectively for our commitments, our relationships, and the things we want to enjoy. A study published in the American Academy of Neurology shows that reading and other mentally stimulating activities are good for our brain health. It can be anything like taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or capoeira or kickboxing, anything you like, whatever fits in our routine. Fitness can look like anything we want if it is making us feel better at the end of the day. Ariana Huffington, the founder of the Huffington Post, swears by short relaxing breaks which she takes throughout the day. She feels it's really effective for stress relief and boosts her productivity. Stress busies up our brain's focus and puts us into the fight or flight mode, makes us feel drained out, and basically we become unable to handle situations effectively. So take stress management seriously and make stress relief your daily success habit. It's amazing how confusing things start making sense, falling into place, following a pattern of something totally unconnected when you open your mind to a variety of topics. When we diversify the topics we learn about, it helps us make better decisions. Look at problems in 3D. It's based on the same idea why teams include experts on different topics to arrive at an effective solution. Keep learning to keep your brain young because it encourages the formation of new brain cells and neural pathways. Bill Gates still reads 50 books a year, and it still remains one of his primary ways to learn new things and test his understanding. The habit of starting the day off right, having a morning routine that works for them. And it's important because you know how usually everything seems to go wrong from the moment you are late for work in the morning? Yeah, that's why a morning routine that works is important. Schedule in some quiet time in their day, and what this habit essentially does is give us time to catch up with our changing expectations, likes, dislikes, priorities. See what's working and what's not working so that we can tweak our actions and plans to use our time, energy, and resources more efficiently. You know, the hardest part about change, whether it's changing how we do something, building your habit, changing where we live or where we interact with, is not the change itself. The hardest part about change is the discomfort of not making those same automatic choices that we did before. But if we don't change what we do, we will never be able to change the results that we get. And that is the recipe for eventually feeling stuck in life, feel like we are falling behind in life. This video over here shows some simple techniques to make the process of changing your habits, of building good habits, a lot easier. I hope you found this video helpful. Take care, and I'll meet you in the next video.